All right, it's Sunday, August 17th, 2025. This is the joy of doing. And today's topic, infinite gratitude. When life gives you lemons, appreciate them. Yay, I have lemons. So, life has been kind of challenging for me lately. That's okay. Challenges come and go. But one thing that's been really helping is one of our principles here from the progress paradigm. You might remember it. Take in the good. Take in the good. The opposite principle, the anti principle in the punishment paradigm, take in the bad. That's been happening just automatically in my body and my system and my mind. And that happens for many of us, especially when we're going through something negative, but sometimes even when we're not. The mind has this bias called negativity bias, which is our brains evolved to look for danger, to look for things that weren't working for survival. That itself is a good thing to survive. Survival's good. So we can even see that from the progress paradigm and take in the good of that. However, it doesn't feel very good. And if we take in the bad too often, we can start to frame things in negative ways, even good things, and see them as bad. Whereas we can actually do the opposite as well and see things as good and start to take in the good, feel good, which can start to change our whole lives in a wonderful way. Now, we can take in the good in endless ways. Gratitude is just one, but it's, of course, very popular. People do gratitude journaling. There's even research on gratitude journaling as helping with things like mental illness and depression. Why? Because you're taking in the good. That's how you get out of feeling bad, by feeling good, especially genuinely good in a kind of wholesome way. So, gratitude, I consider just kind of one aspect of a whole series of different positive emotions: love, appreciation, happiness, joy, kindness, compassion, optimism, gratitude. To me, these all kind of go together. They're all flavors of the same thing. And they're sort of the primary emotions of this progress paradigm. I usually abbreviate it as love and joy, right? Like we motivate ourselves through love and joy instead of fear and pain. But it's all of these different things. It's love, appreciation, happiness, joy, kindness, compassion, optimism, gratitude, and probably even more emotions than that. Peace, maybe other things like this. I call this kind of just the angelic state. The angelic state. When you're feeling this way, it's kind of angelic. It's really positive. It's really wholesome. It's really good, pure, whatever you want to call it. Now, it's a really good feeling, but it's not the kind of really good feeling that feels good now and then feels bad later. Like it might feel really good to eat a giant ice cream sundae right now, just like the biggest ice cream sundae you could ever get. And then an hour later, you might be like, oh, I don't feel so good. My stomach kind of feels off and I feel really tired or something like that. So that gives you joy or pleasure in the moment, but maybe not later. And if you do that every day, it might lead to some problems down the line that really don't feel very good. So this is a different kind of feeling good. It's a wholesome pleasure, or Jess calls it sacred pleasure. In fact, in various traditions like Buddhism, they talk about these emotions as good. Or even Stoicism. Some people think Stoicism is about just being cold and emotionless, but the Stoic about these same emotions too, these positive emotions of love. Like Marcus Aurelius in his meditations, he kept writing about love over and over again and loving people, loving everyone as your brother and sister. Or the Buddhists talk about this as the Brahma Vihara, which means sublime attitudes. Or sometimes the immeasurables, because you can continue to cultivate them more and more and more infinitely. There's like, you talk about too much of a good thing. It's like ice cream is a good thing. It's not so bad, but you can easily have too much of a good thing there. Whereas kindness or joy or gratitude, can you really have too much of that? Is that like a problem that the world has today? Too much of that? Now you might say, well, can't a person be too kind though? But I think what we really mean is It would also be wise for a kind person to have a backbone, not be a doormat, to have some inner power, some boundaries, something like that. It's not that they have too much kindness, just that they also need this other thing to really be in balance. So if we want to feel good, have a happy life, be in the progress paradigm, pleasure is part of that, but it's not just any old pleasure, not the kind of pleasure that what goes up must come down kind of pleasure, but the kind of pleasure that's good now and feels good after. So we might contrast this with, say, heroin. I don't recommend it because all heroin addicts kind of have the same story. They say the first time I shot up heroin was the best feeling I've had in my entire life. Unfortunately, every time I've shot up heroin afterwards, it hasn't been quite as good. But I've been chasing that ongoingly for the last however many years I've been a heroin addict. So don't do drugs, kids, at least heroin. So the good life, probably not about chasing pleasure, chasing dopamine, right? Running after, seeking this stuff. And that's what Buddhists have said, and mystics from all traditions are like, that doesn't really work. But neither is it about avoiding all pleasure and never being happy or joyful or, kind or grateful or anything like that. It's about discovering the sort of sacred or wholesome pleasure. Yes, that can be an essential part, actually, of the progress paradigm, of the happy or good life. And especially if we want to motivate ourselves through love and joy, it's good if we can actually feel some love and joy. It's a skill. It's a skill we can get better and better at. We can cultivate. We can improve always, because it's a choice. It's a choice that we always have. And we're always taking in something. If we don't deliberately take in the good, the mind tends to default to taking in the bad instead, through the negativity bias, which is for our survival. Thank you. We can appreciate even the taking in the bad mechanism. And when we do that, when we accidentally take in the bad, we notice bad things, or we frame things in bad ways. We make them mean something. It's part of a narrative or belief system. And then as a result of that narrative or belief system, we feel bad. And then our actions come from this state of feeling bad, which is less than ideal for happiness or even successfully accomplishing something. When we feel bad, our frontal cortex kind of shuts off, either partially or wholly. So we don't have all the resources we need. Mike sometimes talks about this as the vagal brake. So we have this vagal nerve that connects our head and our heart and our gut, and it doesn't send the information we need. So we don't actually have all our resources literally in our physiology and our body, but also in our mind and emotions. We see fewer possibilities. So we delete possibilities. It's one of the anti-principles of the punishment paradigm, right? So if you especially want to do any cognitively demanding work or creative work, kind of the most counterproductive thing you can do is put a lot of pressure on yourself or a lot of pressure on somebody else, because that pressure creates stress, shuts off part of the brain, decreases our resources, decreases the possibilities we can see. So our quality of our work isn't even as good if you can get yourself into action at all. However, luckily, we can change this at any moment. At any moment, we always have a choice, because we can start to attune to the good, seeing possibilities and taking in the good. This is an action. It's a creative act. It's a choice that's always available. Because it's a choice, it means that you don't have to be grateful. Sometimes we grew up in families where it's like, well, you should be grateful. You should be. That's a punishment paradigm message about gratitude. It's not actually taking in the good. It's a rule. It's a have to. You don't have to be grateful. You don't have to look for the good in your life or in other people or the world. You don't have to feel good. It's okay if you don't. That's really important framing for gratitude practice. And you always can. If you choose to, you can practice appreciating something. You can practice love. You can practice kindness. You can practice joy. You can practice gratitude. Gratitude, just one way to take in the good, one way to access this angelic state or sacred pleasure, but it's very popular, so I wanted to talk about it. And the key with gratitude is not just to say some words mindlessly. I'm so grateful that I'm healthy. I'm so grateful for food. Okay, that's okay. It's a start. But the key is not the words, it's in the feeling. To actually have a shift in your body, in your energy, your vibration, your kinesthetics feeling sense, to shift your state into it. The opposite being something like entitlement, opposite of gratitude, entitlement, which is in our system, we could think of it as have to mode, right? This situation that I'm in, it has to be other than it is. I have to not be the way I am. This person must not treat me badly. The universe has to give me what I want. After all, I've been practicing gratitude. Or even a can't mode. It's not okay that it's this way. It can't be this way. I can't ever make a mistake. This person, they can't be doing what they're doing, but they are. It's just true. So instead of being out of alignment with a reality and resisting reality, we can do that. It just creates a lot of suffering. Instead, we can choose if we want. You don't have to, but if you want to feel better, if you want to access all your resources, if you want to motivate yourselves and others with love and joy, there's a very easy way to do it, which is to practice gratitude or appreciation, whatever you want to call it. And gratitude really is this don't have to and can modes together. The situation could be very different. It doesn't have to be what it is. But boy, am I glad it's this way and not worse. Whew. Oh, man. This person, my friend, my partner, whatever, this person doesn't have to spend time with me. They could be doing something else. So I really appreciate every moment they do choose to spend time with me. Wow. Thank you. The universe itself doesn't have to give me anything I want. It can do things I don't want. So I'm really grateful that it's giving me the things I do want right now. Thank you. So that's the basic attitude of gratitude. And I'd like to go through 10 ways you could be grateful. And you can really take some time to write things down or think through things as I go through each level. So we'll just spend like a minute on each. One way we can be grateful. Something that's going well now that you can appreciate. Think of something that's going well now that you can appreciate. And as you think of that thing, you could either say it in your mind or write it down as, I'm so happy and grateful that blank, because, and give some reason. So I picked something earlier. I'm so happy and grateful that today I have a safe place to live that has heat and air conditioning and indoor plumbing, because I really enjoy having these things. And I wish everyone have these things. And as you think about that, really feel into it. I'm so happy and grateful that I have this thing that's going well now and I can appreciate. Because reason. Now, we could also be grateful for something that went well in the past that you can appreciate. For me, I wrote down, I'm so happy and grateful that I've had this day job that has supported me and my family in making enough money to grow my business on the side, because most jobs would not be so flexible. So, what's one thing that went well in the past that you can appreciate? So happy and grateful that this thing happened in the past because. And really feel into it. Yeah. Now, here's an interesting one. Something you imagine in the future that will go well that you can appreciate now. Could be the near future, could be the far future. But I noticed recently, some days I look at my schedule and I'm like, I have things on the calendar for today. I feel so overwhelmed. I feel so busy. And some of those things are things I really enjoy. Like today, I have a client session with a new client, and I'm looking, part of my mind goes, I'm busy. I'm not going to have time free. So I wrote down, I'm so happy and grateful I get to spend some time today with a new coaching client who trusts me to guide him out of pain and into joy and is paying me for the privilege of doing what I love to do and would do for free if I was independently wealthy. That's a different way of looking at it. So, what's something you imagine in the future? Well, it will actually go well that you can appreciate now. Hey, each one of these, really feeling into it. And it's okay if you can't come up with something. These are going to get increasingly more challenging. But I challenge you to see if you can step into appreciation or gratitude. So, most people have had something in the past that actually wasn't what we wanted. It might have even been a terrible experience at the time. But looking back on it, it's not that we would wish it on anyone, but somehow we're actually grateful that it happened. A challenge, a difficulty. I wrote this, even though I wouldn't wish this on anyone, even though I wouldn't wish this on anyone, I'm actually grateful that I had severe hip and back and knee pain a few years ago for a few months. Why? Because it taught me the lesson that I can overcome pain and injury. So I don't have to fear it. What's something that happened in the past that wasn't what you wanted, but you can appreciate it looking back? Even though I wouldn't wish this on anyone, I'm actually grateful that that thing happened. Because that one might have been a little more challenging, but if you really can get there with something like that, it can be pretty profound. So the next one, This is more like the classic manifestation gratitude. So, what's something you want right now that you don't have? Something you want right now that you don't have. A goal, a dream. And imagine you go out into the future where you do have it. And you're so grateful. So, again, you can write or think about this as I'm so happy and grateful for thing that I have at future time. So happy and grateful that I have it because and maybe you're grateful for the journey that it took to get there. Really feel into it. Imagine having it. Feel into the gratitude of having it. I like that one because sometimes we get what we want and we're still not happy. But this way, you feel happy even when you don't have it yet. Pretty cool. So, there's another kind of scenario here. Think of something happening right now that you don't want. A little bit different than the last time. Last time was something you want that you don't have. Now it's something you don't want that you do have. Something right now that you don't want, but you do have. Stressing you out, maybe. And then go out into the future where you no longer have it. It's changed. And feel grateful. So happy and grateful that that changed. Maybe you learned something valuable. So happy and grateful that now you have what you want. And we feel into it. So the seventh gratitude exercise. Think of a part of yourself that sort of appears on the surface to not be so great. Could be a bad habit, could be a belief you've got, could be a thought, an emotion. A part of you that appears bad on the surface. But imagine it actually has some deeper positive purpose or intention. Like negativity bias, the purpose is survival. Survival's good. Can you appreciate? I'm so grateful that there's a part of me that wants to survive. So good. So guess at the positive intention and see if you can feel into the appreciation for that positive intention. Sincerely. Might be challenging. So happy and grateful I have this part of myself, even though I don't like this behavior, feeling, or thought. I'm so happy and grateful I have this part of myself that cares enough. And feel into the appreciation or gratitude as much as you can. If you can't, that's okay. Again, each one of these is getting a little more challenging, but if you have challenge with that, there's a method called core transformation. Very, very helpful. It goes very deep into that. 3 more. So imagine a part of someone else that appears bad or annoys you or frustrates you. A part of someone else that on the surface is not what you like. But pretend for a moment that there's actually a deeper positive purpose or positive intention behind that behavior or feeling or thought. So it's like, even though I don't like this behavior or this aspect of this person or this thought, this thing they do, I'm so happy and grateful that this deeper positive intention exists within them. Oh, I'm grateful that they care enough to tell me about that thing, even though they're not telling it in a way that I like, or whatever it is. Again, that might be a more challenging one. It takes a little time to think about what the deeper positive intention is or deeper need, or and that's okay. Or maybe you're feeling it right now. That's also okay. This one might be slightly easier. Think of some aspect of the world or humanity that's happening now and is obviously good that you appreciate. Puppies exist. Yay! I'm so happy and grateful that puppies exist. They're so cute and beautiful, and I love how playful they are. Whatever it is, think of some aspect of the world that's happening now and is obviously good that you appreciate. So happy and grateful that blank because blank. And then finally, think of some aspect of the world that's happening now and appears on the surface to be bad or not what you want. But it may be part of something larger that is good or have some deeper positive intention that you can appreciate. Or maybe in the future, it's something that humanity gets through and we can learn something valuable from and appreciate. Like in the Star Trek Next Generation universe, humanity goes through some World War III before reaching a beautiful egalitarian society. So even though I don't like what's happening now, I can appreciate that it's part of this larger good thing, something like that. And feeling into the positive feelings, if you can. So those are 10 different gratitude exercises. Notice which ones of those were super easy and which ones were not as easy for you. That could be an interesting exploration, something to learn about yourself. And the more you practice this, the better you get at it. Lots of people struggle with the first thing, something that's going well now that they can appreciate. That's what gratitude journaling tends to focus on. Some of these other ones were like super advanced gratitude exercises, being grateful for things that you don't even want, that aren't going well. Just a preview of coming attractions if you're not there yet. But imagine what it would be like if you could be feeling infinite gratitude no matter what happens. Then you could maintain the progress paradigm. You could be motivated by love and joy. You can motivate others with love and joy. What an amazing life. And it's possible for you to always make progress. Not perfection. We're not here to be perfect. It's always possible to make more progress at this. Thank you.